Yo, what are you doing right now? We are going to get real about men's issues, who Jesus is, and who we are as men in Christ. We're going to hear Trey, Jeremy, Michael, and Brad break it down. These guys call themselves the Cussin Christians. All right, guys, what is going on?
Since we've been together.
I know we're taking a few weeks off.
I got to show this stuff.
Yes.
Here comes the emails.
So if anybody wants to know what Jesus thinks of the Cussin Christians,
Don't be a dick.
get on YouTube and read our shirt.
Well, that was a gift from like a year ago that you gave
It's been a
Michael.
while, yeah.
And
Have you
there's,
ever worn it since then?
there's a
No,
story
it's first
behind
time.
that.
There is a story behind that. That's one of our episodes that I talked about being, because you guys wouldn't have liked me at all.
No? I think we would have been, you and I would have got along just fine.
Probably, but you would have had enough
That's
of
your,
me and probably
that's
whooped
your
my ass.
previous life, and that's the quote you heard. Michael, don't be that.
I know.
No.
Michael, don't be that.
That's the old you.
Don't be what?
Yeah.
a dick.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, for
I was
those of
wondering
you
if you
listening,
were
that's
sad.
what the shirt says.
Yeah.
The shirt says, don't be a dick.
That was my Lowe's. I think that was our Lowe's
That was
episode.
when you were at Lowe's, the Lowe's episode. In case anybody's wondering, 100th episode.
Yeah.
And we are sharing today right on the beautiful river behind us here in Brevard County, Florida. We have talked about so many times that we are
These are
just
awesome.
four guys sitting around a table eating wings,
Wings.
talking about guys and talking about Jesus. And so guess what? We are at Grills Riverside right here, Brevard
These are
County, Florida.
amazing.
And we are eating wings, talking about guys, talking about Jesus, kind of reflecting on the past 99 episodes, how far we've come, what we're all about. We are big fans of Grills. Joe Pinovic and his team have been supporters of our ministry. They helped us out tremendously with the Zach Williams event that came up and fed Zach's team for the big show that we had in September. And that launched and catapulted us to a couple of cool events that are going to be happening next year that we're finalizing right now. But we're going to have an amazing event around Father's Day, and we're finalizing that right now. It's going to be a lot of fun right here, Brevard County, Florida. It is business as usual here at Grills Riverside. I hope you it's been raining for like 5 straight days.
Yep.
So the sun, and you know what? You're eating your wings, and you got them all over your face.
I love it.
Look at you.
And you guys are all drummies too. You suck, man.
I'm
You're
not a
taking all my drummies.
Yeah,
I got wings, dude.
I got 2 drummies here. There's 1 drummie left. But in any case, we have taken a few weeks off. Lots been going on. And it's just awesome that we're here to be able to do this episode and kind of reflect and think about who we are a little bit more and what we're doing, where we're going in the future and stuff. So, and everyone's giving us heck. This is fun.
We love it.
But yeah, guys, it's been 2 or 3 weeks, and I know with the holiday, by the time this airs, it'll be a day before Thanksgiving, basically.
Yeah.
And we're going to be a little sporadic with guys traveling and everything else, but we're looking for 101 will be coming out in the next week or two, and then who knows? We'll be figuring it out and getting it going. But amazing time of year. Thanksgiving's upon us. Christmas is here, and then we're going to be shifting into 2024. And oh my gosh, we got some cool stuff.
You guys believe how fast this year's gone by?
Oh my gosh, man.
Crazy.
I mean, it seems like we just blinked and we were at Thanksgiving last year. I don't even know what we were talking about at Thanksgiving last year, probably what to be thankful for, but it's crazy how quick. It's almost 2 years we've been doing this.
I know. 2 years. We had our 47th or 48th country sign up last week. Never even heard of the country. I can't even think of the name of it. It's off the coast of Africa.
Oh, we love you guys. We're thinking about you.
Yeah. Some ex-French state in Africa.
How does that happen?
I don't know.
That's cool.
I don't know.
Dude, he's like in them all.
Look at that.
Listen, man.
See,
I hate
This is
Messi.
this is O-line like
You're
101.
I can see you
You
in 5
twist
of
them
your
off,
offensive linemen.
And then you turn them into like a
Look at
chicken
that.
nugget.
Look at your technique.
You see that?
I know, that's all.
And that's a
me.
one-biter.
And then
Is
it's
that
just
a one-biter?
Oh yeah, and then it's like a paintbrush. You can
Drunk.
get that right in there.
Oh, we're going to have to get close-ups
So
of
you're
this.
not even
What is
using your
that?
teeth. You're not even using your teeth. You're deboning
But
it.
look what he's doing.
and
See,
rolling it up.
I couldn't handle that stuff on my fingers.
You are such a priss, dude.
Dude, you are.
Talk about your
I'm
tobacco.
surprised you don't. I'm surprised he doesn't just eat chicken nuggets.
His first foray into chewing tobacco. You gonna tell that story?
Oh, dude, what?
Listen to this one.
We were having this discussion a little earlier. I'm not going to mention any names.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So we got the Christian
Sweet.
beers coming in.
Thank you.
These are
For these two.
Grills Galt Light.
Well, first off, I want to preface our brother Joe, who owns Grills. He made a stand when all that was going down with Bud Light, and decided to have an alternative version at the bottom. His light beer is called Grills Galt Light. It's Galt Light. And he says, we welcome everyone, but we do not celebrate or market what we do not believe in. And the creed at the bottom says, thank you for trying Grills at Alt Light, a much higher quality light pilsner than you've settled for in the past, brewed locally and responsibly for people who are tired of corporate BS.
Nice.
So Joe's a great Christian brother, and he took a lot of heat for what he did, but I admire him for standing up for Jesus and in a way. So toast to Joe for sure.
Cheers.
I'm sticking with my coffee.
Got my sweet tea.
You got your sweet tea.
Yeah, dude.
Brad's not going to break the fast.
Nope. My lifelong fast of alcohol.
That's really good.
But in any case, we were talking with a person earlier
really good.
That's
today.
really good.
He needs to get in Publix with this thing.
He's working on it.
That's
Really
great.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it. I've had it. It's great.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had it. It's great. I was one of the first to buy a 6-pack off his display in here. So, but we had this great conversation, but while we were setting up, and there's someone we know that really struggles that uses medical marijuana for pain, and biblically she's reading through it, trying to find where the holes are there.
Oh, really?
And I admire her for her honesty and her searching. And it just brought up this conversation about gateway drugs and everything else. And then we started talking about tobacco use and everything. And I confessed to Michael that when I was a kid. Y'all ready for this?
I'm excited for this.
Such a dork, dude.
When I was a kid, like 12, all my friends were experimenting with snuff, like Copenhagen and Skull and all that kind of stuff, right? And well, my mom, of course, I was a mama's boy, so I ran it by my mom, and then she wouldn't let me buy it. You think? And then I had somebody bought me a can of Skull, and I brought it home, and she busted me before I even was able to open up and try it. So I said, I got to figure out what all this is all about. And this is just to the insanity of the world we live in. I went and opened up a couple of Lipton iced tea bags and got the dried leaves out of the tea bag, and I got a big old wad of it, and I stuffed it right here against my gum. I got so jittery it was scary.
That's like pure caffeine.
From tea. So if tea can do something to your brain, and the most innocent thing we drink, and people are so addicted to other things in the world, and they're pulling in and getting them a double, triple Whopper with cheese. Yeah. And I'm eating these wings, and I'm griping about my heart, So we just had a great conversation about pot use, and I don't know where everybody stands on that. I really don't care, but
just to listen to her background was crazy. And
really?
How she's loving the Lord and really seeking the Lord, and it's that restorative that I can do whatever I want, but Jesus has changed what I want. So great conversation.
I think medical sweet tea is fine.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm drinking.
You're drinking medical sweet tea.
I got a story similar to that, actually. It's not with tea bags, but, everybody was smoking.
That takes a whole nother connotation.
Everybody was experimenting, smoking pot and stuff. I was probably about the same age, maybe a little older. And but I heard about cloves. So I got cloves out of my mom's pantry. And I found some tracing paper because I thought it looked kind of like rolling paper.
Nice.
And
you did.
I did. I rolled the cloves up into probably the worst looking cigarette ever.
They're hard, man. They're really hard.
Well, it was the ground cloves.
Gotcha.
The ground ones, for like Thanksgiving and stuff.
Like you stick into a ham?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I took one puff of that and started throwing up in the backyard. That's coughing so hard.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, that's the brain of a 14-year-old, you know what I mean? Like,
and that stopped you from further drug use?
No.
Nope.
Not at all.
Which is also the brain of a 14-year-old. Yeah. You get sick and throw up. I'm like, let's try this again.
Well, I was like, I didn't smoke the right stuff. I got to try.
Right.
No, I did stuff. Anyway.
Maybe next time it'll be better.
Yeah.
Hey guys, seriously, you need to pray for Michelle. She's in the hospital right now. She got stung by a bee on the forehead. She's all swollen and bruised and everything. Luckily, I was close enough to swat the bee with my shovel.
I knew that was coming.
Had to get a Michaelism.
I knew that was coming.
Because that was...
Yeah.
And then you got stung out here.
When we were setting up, there was a bee buzzing around my tripod, and I just swatted it out of the air. I'm like, take that.
2 seconds later, I felt this searing pain on my ankle. That bee had gone right down between my shoe and my ankle and stung me. I'm like, instant karma.
I guess
There you
you're not
go.
allergic to them. I'm glad you're not allergic to them.
Oh yeah, I'm not allergic
That
to
would
you
ruin
either.
our podcast this morning.
Jeremy would be the one having to give you mouth to mouth to bring you back to life.
I would do it.
Yeah.
In a very Christian way.
I'd rather be dead. Just take me home.
No, guys, we're finishing up our last event that we had of the year was this past Saturday, and I'm starting to believe this initiative that we're starting might be one of the most important things we've ever done with the Impact Warriors. And hats off to the 6 military veterans that are helping us with this. It was we had the event Saturday, and these 6 guys are stepping up to help me organize an effort to help our local veterans that are struggling adjusting back into society. And because there's some horror stories out there, and the veteran suicide rate is continuing to climb. And it was crazy on hey guys, and on Wednesday we had our sunrise event right down the street here, and this totally new guy just showed up out of nowhere. I didn't know
That's
him.
awesome.
Never seen him. Pretty new to town. And of course, we were trying to get a story, and he said, "Well, it was 5 weeks ago. I was in my car out at the wildlife reserve, and I had my 9. And I'm a Marine. I've done some horrible things to my wife and my children. I've done some horrible things to me and other people. I've been struggling with dealing with it. So I decided that night I was going to end it." And he said, luckily for me, it was after dark. The park was closed, and someone saw my car, and they pulled in behind me, and it happened to be the owners of the property. Part of the Duda family that owns all the property out here.
Great Christian family.
Great family. And anyway, they got with him. They prayed with him. They got him help. They got him bank record for a few days and went to Circles of Care. And of course, one of our brothers is one of the psychologists at Circles of Care, and recommended he come see us. And he showed up. And as soon as he showed up, Blonde Mike looked at him and said, "You're in the right place, brother." And these veterans put their arms around him, and he's going to be part of us now. And
Awesome.
This military thing, God keeps winking at me, saying, "Keep going, keep going." And I'm not military, so I have to rely on guys that are.
Dude, that was such a phenomenal program Saturday. What was my
dude.
text to you
Yeah.
when you asked, thoughts, and I said, "Love your excellence."
Yeah.
And it was.
Well, you know why it was probably so good? Because I had a very small part of it. I just introduced and let these guys talk. And that's the thing. And I know we have a lot of veterans that listen to us. We love you. That when these men came into our lives earlier in the year, I'd sit down with them, and I'm about depression. I'm about suicidal. I know that stuff. But as I'm talking with them, I just realized I needed a bridge because I didn't talk military. I don't have that.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad the Lord put that on my heart, saying, "Trey, you can't do this by yourself on this one." And I got 6 guys that we're going to launch these new group meetings in January, and no problem. And we're just looking forward to Impact Warriors. Check us out. Go to the website. Send us an email if you're interested. If you're a veteran, if you have a family member that's a veteran, we would love to plug them in starting the 3rd week of January. And we might be having one of the meetings right here in the private the grills. So anyway, sorry for the long rant, but it's been 3 weeks, guys. What else has been going on? How's God moved at you this last few weeks?
No, it's good, man. I've had a good couple weeks. I mean, honestly, I think I texted you guys a little bit about it. Like, my biggest stress right now is the business, and I decided to start a people placement company in the middle of one of the worst economies we've seen, which is always an intelligent idea. But we brought in a bunch of business the last couple of weeks, and I was going over my business plan, and I was talking to the guy that's going to finance payroll, which I didn't think I was going to get done. Looks like they're going to come through for us, so we can take on any size project we want.
Fantastic, nice.
Which is huge, because in my business, that's the biggest cost is the employee's payroll, and then you don't get paid for 90 days, so it stacks up. So that came through, and then I was looking at it. We're going to end up signing, I think, by the end of January. We should have 6 Fortune 500 accounts. So,
all right,
good stuff.
Starting to happen. That's awesome, dude.
I just need to start hiring.
Have you seen the movie Family Man?
No.
It's you. It's your business.
Oh, really?
Gerard Butler stars in it.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Oh my God, have you seen it?
No.
he's in your business, what he does, but he is so diabolical, man.
Oh yeah.
Because he keeps burner phones in his desk, and if he hears about other people being placed, he calls them up and starts some shit about the guy that they're going to hire, just so he'll come to him. It's crazy. You got to watch it.
I don't do that, but I'm pretty. That's too far. But I will ask you where you're interviewing, and then go call that manager to see if they're hiring.
It's a real. The ending is amazing. The story is great. It's a good movie. It's a feel good movie.
That's good.
Nice.
So
I'm just so proud of you because so many times we hit crossroads in our life.
Yeah, I've gone through 2 or 3 of them on this podcast.
Yeah, you have, and we get to that point where they either crossroad or we see this little ravine, and we know we got to step. And the Lord has guided you to step. The impact you're having on people in the name of the Lord through your business ventures is huge. Some of the things you share with us and people you talk with and interact with and are able to give testimony to. Any thoughts on that kind of stuff as you've seen things falling into place?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because every time I think about quitting and going to go do something else, like another blessing falls in my lap. And it's been pretty impactful. And actually, I haven't even talked to you about it because we've not been together. But we're starting a veterans program as well. We found some grants through the government.
remember you talking about that.
Yeah, so we've actually found the avenue, and come to find out there's such a shortage of labor in construction right now that we can actually take a lot of these veterans. And part of the program is going to be how do we repurpose them back into the world. Because my business partner actually is a veteran, and he's actually he's been overseas 3 times and seen the war 3 times, and it's big and close to his heart as well. So we've decided to do that, and part of it's just getting these guys back into the world again. So yeah, it's no. Listen, I knew what I signed up for when I. I'm just trying to keep myself from having 2.
But that's great, dude, because I remember you talked about that was an avenue, and you had some certain certifications you had to get before you could get there.
Yeah, and and that stuff just keeps going through, like no obstacles. Like every time we think it's going to be an obstacle, it's just like just pushed to the side. So it's been kind of cool to see where we've been headed and how we've been headed. Everything from different things that you usually have to have like experience and time with. For some reason, something will just pop up, and it's like, here, you guys are good. Like, and we're just going to keep getting pushed into the directions we're headed.
Right.
So it's been a lot of fun, and we've talked to a lot of people, and I've been able to share the word. And I got to pray with the guy I told you guys about.
That was a great story. Yeah.
Like right on the phone. I mean, and it's the people I'm touching again and talking to, and it's been God pushing us through our lives. And actually, the guys over at give them a shout out at clearancejobs.com. They actually do top secret cleared searches for people, and they connect us. They listen to the podcast now.
Nice.
So I was talking to them the other day, and they're listening to it in the background. So people are hearing the Cussin Christians while they're getting recruited for top secret cleared positions.
Awesome, man. Well, you've grown so much. I remember your angst and anxieties about 8 months ago. We were praying for you fervently, and it came through. And I think it's a testimony. I know there's some other people in my life that are going through some of those same things. I feel like I'm so close, but yet I just need one person to believe in me, or one person to come in to help me, or whatever. And once that happens, boom! I just know the floodgates are going to open. And he really feels he's being called by the Lord, and is holding off trying to do other things because he just has this desire inside he knows is not coming from anybody but God. At the same time, he's struggling so much right now to go to the next step. And this is a personal thing for me with this young man, and I know he leans on you sometimes.
Yeah.
And just testimony on that. Like, I didn't think it was going to go down or whatever, and how it came to you.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, and honestly, even this week, I was kind of struggling with it. There was a job opportunity that came to be, and I was sitting there looking at it. I was like, man, this would be the easy out. I could take this, go back to my same salary. It's remote. I can sit here and right where I'm at. Perfect. Back doing exactly what I was doing before. Perfect. And I just was thinking about it. I was like, you know what? Like, this isn't what I want. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I have no income right now, but I'm going to pass up this 6-figure job. Yeah. Because I think I'm going in the right direction. Because every time I doubt myself, a door opens. And I know that's what it is. I know it's God he's putting me down a path right now. And every time I try to fight it, I feel terrible. Yeah. I feel then it's just like you just step into the right door. It's like
Jeremy would have snatched that up out of fear.
Yeah, I would have. Absolutely. And I have no fear right now. Like, I have everything on the line at the moment. Like, just to be clear, like, this doesn't work out, I could lose my house, I could lose everything, because this business is expensive. I'm buying tools that are $15,000 and $20,000 commitments at a time to do this. And it's a big commitment. So, but I have no fear about it. And so ironically, Ashley doesn't either, which has been the coolest part. Because every time I go to talk to her about like quitting, she's like, "What are you talking about?" Like,
hey man, that's awesome.
She goes, "You got this," and I'm like, "Okay, all right, let's keep going." You know?
That's great.
That reminds me of one of the episodes. We were looking back at our episodes over the past 2 years. One of them we talked about was playing the long game,
Right.
and how typically, like the Christian life, it's a life of discipline. It's one where you're waiting. It's not instant gratification.
Right.
It's kind of the opposite of what the world says. But I think you're going to see big payoff in the long run, because you're looking at the big picture, and God keeps encouraging you every time you want to take the easy way out, like you said. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how that pans out for you.
There's a meeting on Tuesday next week. You guys can pray for. If it goes well, there's a chance that all of us can do the podcast for professionally and be just fine. It's that big of a meeting on Tuesday.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do
All
it,
right.
man. Well,
Brian.
So we were talking about God winks. Is that kind of where we're?
I kind of made it a focus. When we first started in that living room, 2016, with this ministry, that's how we started. Everyone, how did God wink at you since we last met, and then what's your thorn? Since the last meeting, and that's kind of what generated the discussions and how our ministry grew. And a lot of times those stories go hand in hand. The thorn was there, God winked at me, the thorn's not there anymore, or God gave me peace, whether it was an amazing sunset or a conversation with a brother, or I'm sitting there walking through, Donna and I took that trip to France, and we're walking through these cities that are in the German occupied area during World War II, and how they were decimated, and how the evilness of Hitler and the Gestapo and the SS, they came in and displaced people. And we're in Lyon, right? Last day of the trip, and we got about 7 or 8 days until this MPACT Warriors meeting, okay? And I gotta admit, dudes, after our last event, I took a little heat and all these other things. I just feel kind of stale. I was just feeling kind of stale. I'm like, okay, what do I do? I can't win. Sometimes, I got codependent issues. So y'all know me. The people that boo at me are the ones that I worry about lose sleep over. We talked about it before.
Oh yeah.
But I'm there and I'm going, is anybody even going to come to this Warriors event? Is this veterans thing? I don't know anything about being a veteran. And we're touring Lyon, and we come up to this street corner, and they have one of those old homes that's like built into the street corner. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of triangular looking. And the tour guide said, this is the home of this Jewish family. They were aristocratic. They were very socially powerful. Their philanthropy was off the charts. They had Van Gogh and Monet's and all these paintings in their home. And when the SS came in, guess where that Jewish family went? And the SS and the Gestapo took over that as a residence and a headquarters. And that's where Claude, the butcher of Lyon, lived, and the atrocities he committed in the basement. And I'm sitting there, and then she's French, and then she starts talking about, but then in 1944, we saw the American tank come through. And we are just so gracious, for that. And then it just hit me. I went, I'd never been to Europe. And I went, man, if it wasn't for our armed forces, we'd be speaking German or Japanese right now. Here in the United States, we could be. And then them keeping us from having to speak Allah Akbar or whatever, coming down the road. And for some reason, that 15 minutes on that street corner, I started praying and started getting this revelation of, all right, Trey, you got to do this. And it was a wink. And then last Sunday, we had over 100 people show up, and it was just fantastic. So
That's awesome.
it was awesome. And so we're going to move forward with this thing in a big way. So
That's awesome.
I don't know. Just felt like I needed to share that. I know we're kind of loose today, talking about our old episodes.
What God wink did you have in the last 100 episodes?
Just recently, a couple of them. Got a text. I sent those texts to you guys about what my response was to the brother that texted me at 4 o'clock in the morning, and then had another one where I led a brother to the Lord in his driveway after him dealing with so much garbage. So just knowing, to me, that Jesus is real. He's still in the miracle working business. He still does what he says he was going to do, and that's to to set the captives free, and he's doing that. One of the things I wanted to talk about this morning, and that is, have you seen where all the Hollywood stars are starting to get saved or coming out as Christians?
It seems like it's a little trickle going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rob Schneider just got baptized.
I saw that yesterday.
John Voight is coming out.
Kat Von D, the
Kat
tattoo
Von
chick.
D.
I saw that one and I couldn't believe it. That was a crazy one. She's covering up a lot of the tattoos too because of it. She's,
Wow. Did not know that.
Yeah.
I don't know who you're talking about.
She was a huge Satanist, devil worshiper.
she had a show on
she had a
TV
show
and
on-
everything.
yeah.
Like the
Tattoo
tattoo arts
show,
and all
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Crazy.
I
Very
think she
attractive.
even did porn at one point, didn't
I
she?
don't know, yeah.
I don't
I
know.
wouldn't know.
But isn't it, in the last days I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. And you're seeing it. It's, I think people are starting, like with us, we're sitting in a place where, it's okay to get hammered and get drunk and which we don't do, but we're at the point where people are starting to take a stand. And we've taken a stand for the last 100 episodes about, guys, I was talking to you this morning, one of them is one of my favorite episodes was a restorative nature of God and how he's restored. And you see that all through the Old Testament. And we're seeing that now with guys being given their heart to Lord. John from CETA, with all that he went through.
Yeah.
And got baptized and is alcohol free. And so it's amazing that we've done this for 100 episodes. And that was one of my favorite was the restorative nature.
It's funny every time. Like I'm thinking maybe we're not doing enough on the podcast. It's like the next week you run into somebody and they're like, "Hey, I heard you guys.
Yep.
I heard that," or whatever it is. And it just seems to keep pushing me at least. I don't know about you guys, but like it does seem like once a week when I'm thinking this, maybe we're just wasting our time, and then somebody's like, "Hey."
It happens. They come in once in onesies on emails. Just one here, one there. Was listening to this. You got me to think about it. The main thing is I hear from the most common thing is y'all just regular guys, 4 different backgrounds, one common thing: the cross and the resurrection. We're gonna figure everything else out, but let's start there. And
What's your God wink, man?
Kind of, it's similar to yours because when we started doing the podcast, I was out of work, had been, my 20-year career with the Golf Channel ended, and we were just in a real time of transition. And He's opened some really cool doors for me. I'm doing some steady freelance work now at some of the parks over in Orlando that are great, and I've really been enjoying that. But there have been so many times where I've just felt like in despair, like am I ever going to work again? Am I ever going to be good at what I used to do again? And it's like you're saying, God He gives you a wink. He gives you just enough to keep you going until He really opens the doors up. So I think that's my encouragement to anybody that's listening is just hang on because God's doing something. And again, playing the long game, it takes time for a play to develop. It takes time for something, good to happen. So I think the past couple of years has just been like perseverance, learning to trust in Him, believing that He has a plan, that He's working it out. And I'm seeing some of the fruit of that right now. And we're in a good season right now. So it's been good, man.
That's cool.
And every week when I meet with you guys, I'm encouraged. And there have been those times where I didn't want to come, or I'm just like, I got nothing. But by the time we finish, just in processing, just in talking about what God's doing, man, it encourages me so much. I just leave just pumped up, like, all right, we got this.
No, this is my favorite part of the week.
Yeah.
I mean, very honestly, even when I don't want to be here, like it's my favorite part of the week.
Yeah.
By the end, it's cool.
Yep.
Man.
Well, I've got a big trip coming up next week. I'm going overseas for 10 days. I'll tell you about it when I get back. But it's a really cool opportunity. It's not anything that's in my wheelhouse, but it's a God thing. I think it's some divine connections, and so I'm really interested to see what God does.
I'm interested just to hear about what you'll be doing.
No kidding.
Yeah.
But you can tell me when you get back.
Yeah, it's like top secret stuff.
Yeah, I know.
It's gonna be fun.
Maybe you can't tell me.
I feel like I don't belong in this group at all.
Sure,
it's,
James
it's kind of
I
funny.
feel that way too. When I heard you were going, I'm like, I'm so jealous. I want to go.
Yeah.
So you
Why did I get asked?
got one on us, man. It'll be cool.
It's my extreme people skills. That's what it is.
I'm sure you'll blend in well.
He and I are going on a little trip in a couple weeks,
Yeah.
and we got an opportunity to go check out a mission in Juarez, Mexico.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
cool.
we were invited to go and sit in and get a tour of the facilities and just kind of see how us guys with Impact might get involved with this orphanage and community center and things. So
And we've talked about this has been a dream of mine that I've had for years.
To go to Mexico.
No, and I'll tell you about it after we talk.
yeah,
I'll share it on another podcast.
Yeah.
But it's like God is, and I shared this in our Wednesday night group, and the scripture that says that how we restore what the cankerworm and how we, what the moth have eaten, and as shitty as I was in my life, that's why I'm wearing "Do Not Be a Dick" shirt. God has restored that, and it's been amazing that now, full circle, it's possibly coming to fruition.
right. Wow. Well, thinking back, there's a few distinct moments over the last 199 episodes that I still quote today when I'm going around. And one of those was, you remember when we recorded right down the street for Valentine's Day in that pavilion down on the river?
Oh yeah.
I mean, literally.
What you said.
Yeah.
And I used that so many times because we were talking about Valentine's, our relationships with our wives. And you said one of the biggest lessons you've ever learned is I need to always give up my right to be right.
Yeah.
And I use that. I bet I've used that 100 times
That's great.
since then. And that's a mindset inside of me that automatically turns off that pride switch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm just so thankful we had that conversation. What's the word? The best thing you can tell your wife is if you're in an argument is, honey, you're right.
Yeah.
And that might be the end of the argument. And then it's loves and kisses after that.
Yeah.
And some of the others, our letters to ourselves, to me, were powerful when we were giving our testimony and talking through those. And we've approached so many things like fear and how scared we are to take that leap or to move forward in life or to give that thing up. And I'm just trying to think of some of the ones that we've gotten so many communications on that seem to strike a nerve.
And even like having Joseph Assad on a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
That was our biggest one.
Unfortunately, you guys didn't get to hear, like we did, the audience didn't get to hear some of the stuff behind the scenes.
Right.
Because he can't say it on the radio. But we've gotten a lot of, I've personally heard people
Me too.
come to me about that episode.
Yeah.
And just how impactful understanding what's going on in the world is. I mean, that was a pretty cool one.
Yeah, and it was our first one we've ever had a guest had a fifth wheel on, and it was awesome. It was so powerful, and I've had a lot of people come back to me and go, "You need him more."
Yeah.
So when he gets back from his trip, we're going to have to talk about
I was
it.
going to say, talk about a guy who he's positioned himself for God to use him, because he grew up in an orphanage in Egypt. He was always a believer, so he suffered persecution in Egypt as a Christian, like facing death in high school, people wanting to shoot him and kill him and all this stuff. But then he went to Bible school, like Bible college. He wanted to be a pastor, but he was so uniquely, God positioned him to get into the CIA, and it's like the most unlikely story you've ever heard. But the more stories you hear, it's like, man, God had this set up from the very beginning.
Amen.
All of Joseph's life experiences led to this point, and God's used him in ways that people don't even realize, like for national security. It's incredible. It's like truly a God thing.
That's so cool.
He's turned out to be a great friend, a great supporter of the ministry. He and Michelle are amazing. Yeah.
That was a cool episode.
Yeah.
Well, this is a good strategy going forward, bringing people on that are smarter than us and more interesting.
Very
It's gonna
much so.
It's going to make the show way better.
A lot better. We'll get 501
not real
views.
high.
Yeah, but
The bar's not high.
My favorite one was when we were talking about you taking the mark of the beast.
me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be,
We're talking about the rapture.
Right, and that you guys would still be here to minister to the people that are left and to spread the gospel. And Jeremy and I are taken up in a blink of an eye, and we're up there betting on. Jeremy's like, $50. Trey takes the mark of the beast.
Yeah, you're kidding me.
You don't remember that
Yeah,
one?
I don't remember that. We've done so many that go together.
I like the times where Trey didn't say what he meant to say. There was one where he was talking about baptism, and he meant to talked about people who take the dunk, but instead he said, "Some of you have taken a dump," and then he kept talking. And Jeremy looks at me and he goes, "Did you just say take a dump?" We're like, "Yeah, take a dump for Jesus."
That's right.
That was one of my favorite ones.
I'm the great orator. Oh my
Well, the
gosh.
best is because you're trying to be so politically correct. Me and Michael just give two shits.
Yeah, they don't. These two here.
Words are hard sometimes.
Yeah, words are
That's why I keep
hard.
them short and 4-lettered.
That's right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. We, I was walking in a little while ago and talking to Nikki and a couple of the staff. And, this was before all the people started coming in. They were saying one of them didn't know about what we did, and I was going, so I believe in Jesus and I cuss a little. I'm still cool, right? And I said, oh yeah, absolutely, you're cool. I said, we'll work on that. And then she go, what do y'all truly say on that thing? And I said, that's the biggest misconception. People will see the title and they think we're just Richard Pryor concert, right? Mm-hmm. And that's not the case at all. Like we always said, 4 ordinary guys eating wings. There's only 2 left. Who wants the flat and who wants the drum? And talking Jesus and talking sports and talking guy stuff. So. I love the dynamic. That seems to be what people like to see and hear. Mm-hmm. And then we're the first to admit we're not expert theologians. Getting better every day.
But it's all about, let me tell you what Jesus has done for me. Let me tell you how he's transformed my life. Yes. And, I'm not the dick I used to be.
Right.
And so that's what this is all about.
Right.
But I think people lose the fact that you don't. So what I'm about to say is one of those things that gets us in trouble. It gets me in trouble. But I don't need the Bible to be a Christian. That the Bible just gives me the instructions, right? It's more about, have I accepted Jesus and does he push me down the path that I need to be going down? And I know that there's times that I've probably been in scenarios that are quote unquote not the Christian scenario to be in, but I didn't feel bad about it. Because God's working on something else for me right now.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That
So the
makes sense.
sanctification process is happening. And for me, I don't think it's bad. I feel no guilt having a drink of beer sitting at this table. Now,
It's not a part of our lives where I don't have 15 beers in a day.
no.
I may have one a week, if that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah. And I guess that's what I'm saying. For me, I think the grace is what it changes your identity, so you start to just know what's good and bad.
Right.
So I don't get confused by it anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not a license to sin. I'm not saying you should say bad words and get
Because
drunk.
you're walking out your walk with Christ, and that's your personal relationship.
Yeah.
I have no business telling Jeremy what he should and shouldn't do, and what's sin, what's not sin. I'm not a sin sniffer. That was one of the episodes we did.
The sin sniffer
And it's
episode.
like there is no business that I should tell this young lady what she should do and not do. It's her walk.
Right.
Let her figure it out. And what you told her was perfect. The Lord's going to take you where he wants to take you, and he's going to do what he needs to do in you. And we have no business saying one thing about what you're doing.
Right.
No.
And this is a person that she's a woman and she's got the impact story.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Tenfold.
And it's crazy. The other night when I couldn't sleep at all because of the meds I'm on for this ear infection, I said, have y'all ever had a moment where you just prayed for 5 hours? That happened to me 2 nights ago. And I sat there and I just said, Lord, I just want to listen. A lot of things were on my heart for my son, my family, some other things. And all of a sudden I said, I'm just going to shut up and listen. And I didn't fall asleep or anything. And I just felt like the Lord was doing a data dump inside of me.
Wow.
He gave me the vision of this whole event we're doing in June. Remember last time when I first really got with you, I said, dude, I had a dream and you were in it.
Yeah.
I had it.
Nice.
Right? And then it started hitting me, and this is where this woman comes into play that was here a little while ago. I've had so many requests. 30% of our followers are women, at least. I've had so many requests for an Impact for Women thing. And the Lord put it in my brain and in my heart that as Helen's house opens up, we're having a prayer walk there tomorrow, by the way, if y'all want to go. When Helen's house opens up at the end of the year, we're going to need a team of women that do what we do through Impact to help these homeless women and their children. And I asked the Lord, I get it. I need to create something with women. Can you send me some? And since Wednesday night, 2 women have come into my life, and that was one this morning of let me show you what I want to try to do, because I've been there. I've been the addict. I've been this. I've been that. And these women you're going to be dealing with I want to help people like that. And then she even said, I'm going to try to help with Helen's house. She had no clue I was on the board of directors.
She's already met at SEA.
She's already met at SEA.
She knew Buddy and everybody there.
So all of a sudden I'm going, oh man, this impact women thing's going to happen. Now, it might be 6 to 8 months before it does, but it's going to happen.
Wow.
And this woman that was sitting here talking to us about this, and she gave some detailed backgrounds about her past that I'm not going to share.
Sure.
And for her to be able to go into these women that are struggling now and saying, I did that, and it was only through transparency, connection, and the Holy Spirit, blood of Christ, I was able to overcome it. And I still struggle with some things, but still I know He's inside of me working through it. So get ready. Impact for Women somehow is going to happen. Just like Impact Warriors, somehow it's going to happen.
Is it going to be like MPACT then?
WPACT.
Women, MPACT.
WPACT.
Women passionate about Christ. MPACT.
We might do that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Call it whacked.
Okay, here we go. We just lost.
Women are whacked.
We just lost 5% of the women that are
Women about
coming
Christ.
back.
Women about Christ.
Whacked. There we go.
Oh, here we go.
Jen's you're gonna get so much trouble when she listens to this. Actually, does she listen to it?
No.
Yeah, my wife doesn't listen to many either.
It's probably the best.
Michelle listens to them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ashley's hit or miss.
or
Mostly
miss.
miss.
What about some other episodes, guys, and some of the topics we discussed? We've hit so many in 100 from, one of my favorite episodes was when we were talking about how busy we are, busyness and distractions, and how we get so caught up in the day-to-day life that we just don't even stop and think about who we're working for, what we're doing, or anything like that. There was some
like
good
that
stuff
one.
in that one.
One of my favorite ones was it was about the highest price ever paid.
Yeah.
Talking about how Jesus giving His life. I mean, for a father to let his son die on behalf of other people, most who would reject him. It's like that's the highest price ever paid, and I think that's why God is so passionate about us going through Jesus to come to Him.
Right.
And we come up with all these other ways, other religions. And God's like, no. It's like for what it cost me and my son, that's the way. And so it's an abomination for us to think that we can figure out a different way to get to Him.
Right.
When He provided that way, and it was like the most costly, most painful price ever paid for anything.
Because we talked about the physiological ramifications of the actual crucifixion and what He went through physically, which was crazy, and how Pastor John Leathers shared that at our church, what that doctor said he went through that crucifixion.
Well, he should have never survived to even been
Right.
on the cross.
Right.
Ripping that skin out
Yeah.
and the fluid buildup and trying to push up, that's just crazy.
But also just taking the weight of everybody's sin, like present, past, future, on Him, and having God turn His back on Him. It's like that's like the worst thing ever. I mean, that's
Right.
hell, and He experienced that for us. So.
Yeah, and you think about, I try to relate it to like Garrett or Judah, and I know Garrett called me the other night from California, and he's going through a season, man, and he's just kind of confused and invisibly upset. I want to get on a plane that night and fly over
to fix it.
and fix it.
Yeah.
What's your favorite? Do you have a favorite?
I think mine was the restorative one about how all the men of the Bible failed. Moses, David, Abraham, I mean, the list goes on. And God's plan was to get to the point of the cross with Jesus, and He did everything imaginable to steer that process to the ultimate goal of His Son dying on the cross for our sins. And that's how, because I could relate to that. The restorative nature of God is just tremendous in my life.
The best, you know what the best episode was that we're going to do? It's next week's.
That's right.
So make sure you guys come back and listen.
Check it out.
No, we love it.
It's going to be amazing.
We want to thank Queens Riverside and the great gang here for giving us the wings to talk about being men and Jesus in today's world. Check out our website, impactministries.org. Events are starting to be formalized for 2024. Main thing is, man, take these last few weeks of holiday time with the family. Let's get some rest. Let's recharge. Let's listen to what the Lord wants us to do moving forward with this ministry and our personal lives. We just ask for your prayers to continue for us as we grow. And we'll be back in touch with you probably next week with some pretty cool announcements as we move forward. Who wants the last?
Jeremy's.
Who wants the last drumstick? There's Darcy,
No,
I got my wing.
friend.
Go for it, Michael. I ate all those potatoes this morning.
Thank you.
Want more tea?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
No, thanks.
Thanks, Darcy.
All right. So, guys, love you. Closing thought, and we're going to head out to enjoy this amazing Friday.
I don't have a lot of thoughts left.
Okay. Well, praying for you as these things are coming down in your world, through your business.
Big stuff.
Brad, you got this big trip coming up. Michael and I are going to Mexico in a couple of weeks. That's going to be fun. But next week is Gobble Gobble. So enjoy the fam. Eat some turkey. Watch the Cowboys win.
Yes, sir.
And we'll catch you next time. I'm Trey.
I'm Michael.
I'm Brad.
And I'm Jeremy.
We are the
Cussin Christians.
Bring It. Let's go.
Nice.
Michael did it.
I gotta tell you, man, like, I'm a big fan of this.
Yeah.
It's really good. I was really impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really impressed.
Don't the Cowboys look great against losing teams?
Cowboys are awesome.
I think it's like 2-6 teams, man. We are awesome.
Yeah, and look at the schedule coming up.
That's
It's brutal.
Yep.
That's
It's gonna
the
be
Mountaineers right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's like they're winning all the games they should.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, man.
Fast lane with a football fan. All right.